Hello and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. Absolute massive one. People in the comments, get on, get involved. This is a big one tonight. It's a late one, but we're ready. And I have with me, I'll introduce him straight away. Two on this channel. Here we go. Paul, massive game. Are you ready for this?
Huge, isn't it? Especially after some results from the last couple of nights, including tonight. And then it's our turn tomorrow and 3 points in the bag.
Evening, Jamie. I know a lot would have been watching those results and it didn't go the way we wanted it to go. It's a shame. It wouldn't do, would it? This seems to be, we're always saying that on this channel, doesn't it? It doesn't go the way we want it to go. Of course, Brighton lose against Forest and Forest get that win to put them more around us. But we're here to talk about the big game that we've got tomorrow.
Yeah,
absolutely massive. Everton at home, under the lights versus Newcastle. I mean, we went into it a little bit last time. Was that ready for this? So here we go. People in the comments, you know how this works. We'll look at Newcastle, the last 7 games. We'll look at Everton because it's massive. We look at what we're going to play. And then we'll also look at Newcastle's team. So I'll have the players on the screen. I'll have Everton's players on the screen. And then hold it in the comments. We will say our lineups. Give us your lineup, predicted lineup. And then we finish with a score prediction. Follow it all the way through. We'll move nice and fast and make it a good watch for you. Follow through. You will enjoy it. And I'll put your comments on the screen as well. We'll interact with you on the way through. Evertonians need to come together and we will do that tonight. This is massive. Jamie there, love it. Dano Nana is back. I've just read that comment and you don't know how happy I was to see that. That has got me excited. So subscribers, get involved. Drop your comments. Jamie's getting involved. Everyone else, get involved. Get on the channel and we'll go through this in a good structure for you and make it a good listen. So, Paul, I'm going to get them straight on the screen now. We've got Newcastle. We'll go straight into the deep end here, make it a good listen. The Newcastle's last 7 games. This is a different to what we've normally... we normally see weaknesses, don't we, in a team's form. This form that I'm going to put on is very scary, and you've got to respect that form, haven't you? Because that... I wish we had that form. Bloody hell, win, loss, win. It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad at all. Yeah, formidable. A better squad than they've had in the last few years. So well, but there's absolutely
had a little bit of a freeze there. Put you back in 2 seconds, Paul. That's had a little bit of a freeze when you was going on it then. Drop on what you think of Newcastle's form. They're obviously going for... Yeah, there you go. I'll put you back in. It just had a little freeze then. I'll drop you back out and back in so it can refresh for you.
Yeah. I was just going to say, they've still got there's a gap in there, though. They got absolutely mullered against Villa. Villa were very good on the day, and Newcastle weren't really. Had a couple of chances, but they didn't take them when they should, very much like we've been in the past, and it came back to bite them on the arse, to be honest. And they still had their full strength side. They weren't missing anyone particularly in that Villa game. So Villa set out with a good game plan. They stifled Newcastle, and then they took their chances, which was the difference.
That's the light into that game just before they won 6-1. I mean, you move on to that 6-1. I went on a channel and it was a clash, Everton versus Newcastle. Me, Everton, them, Newcastle, and they're on such a high, smashing Tottenham. I mean, they scored how many goals in 20 minutes, wasn't it, against...
in 22 minutes, they'd scored 5.
5 goals in 22 minutes. So this is a team massively on form.
Yeah. Rubbish second half.
I know, yeah. Didn't match it second half. But you've got to look at what you're against and you've got to take them seriously. And they are a team in form. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to beat them because we'll hit Everton positivity on this. But I do think that they are in form. We've got to take them seriously and know what we're up against. And they smashed Tottenham. They did. I don't know whether it was Tottenham poor or whether it was Newcastle amazing, but Newcastle fans reckon it was them amazing. So
yeah, there was key performances in that, and obviously we'll look at their team and stuff. But it was key performances by really the players who aren't the absolute best players. It was sort of a couple of the younger ones really had their best games. Willock was probably one, which we'll have a little look at. And he was supreme on the day, probably played his best game for Newcastle that day. So it was those people stepping up and showing an extra bit of class. But that was at home for them. And they're at our place.
It's going to be a complete different game, I think, this for them. They've even said that. I listened to Eddie Howe in the interview and he said this is a complete different game. Everton's will play different at home. It's going to be a different style, because I had a quick listen on his interview before the game to see what he thought. And it was interesting on the Eddie Howe interview to hear him talking about him being an Everton fan, and he fell in love with us when we won the Cup. And he watched us on a small screen. And they did dig out that he supports Everton. And I was thinking, I don't Dice, but we should have got you if you was an Everton fan and you was massively linked. He is a cracking manager, and he is the reason for me, and Newcastle fans have said this as well, he is a big part of why Newcastle are doing so well. Such a good manager, and he's got them consistently performing well. And they are, you can see that in the results. Home and away, it doesn't matter to them. They perform every game, and that's what Sean Dyche needs to do with us and is looking to do, I think, in Tipple.
Yeah, well, it's, for them, it's key signings. They're in a different place than we are. We want to be with that much backing and that much common sense as a business and stuff. I know it's got questionable morals where it came from and everything else, but they've bought well. Isak is going to be an awesome player in the Premiership, no doubt about it. Bruno in the middle. And we'll see their team. They've got a good.
I'll get it up now. I mean, that's
a good standard and a good setup.
We'll get there.
We need to have a good setup when we play them tomorrow.
We'll look at ours now, but just before we go on to that, the Everton, we briefly talked about it. We hit Newcastle. They're obviously in incredible form. It talked for itself looking at that. But Everton, ours is kind of dipping now, isn't it? It's draw. You start thinking now we need to start winning. There's a lot of draws, but no wins now.
Well, we're inconsistent,
Yeah.
We haven't won since Brentford. We've sort of gone in the last 3 games. We've scored 1, so it has dried up. However, there's positives. We've got people coming back. We've got people getting fitter. We're all fan-wise massively hungry for this game tomorrow, if not very apprehensive about it, but we're there and we're going to be getting behind them. They changed their setup and their schedule, so they're going to arrive on the bus, and we're going to show them our support and get them going and drag them through this bloody game.
There's a bit of a small picture there. Get your glasses on, because I put it the way you liked it, and when you put it on facing up, it makes the players a bit smaller. But there you go. You can still see the shape, the players.
Yeah.
And some people have got it on TV, so it'll be even bigger for them on the channel on TVs. But yes, that is the team that Newcastle played last game, and that's the team Everton played last game. I mean, Holgate got a red card, so he's not going to be in this team.
Yeah.
We hold your lineups, people. Give your lineups in a minute. All we're doing is just looking at both teams now, and in 5 minutes, give us your lineups and we'll give our lineups. But we're just talking about Newcastle's players on this, looking at this and talking about ours, and then we'll make our lineups. But yeah, they're playing well with anyone, ain't they? They really are. They can put anyone in that team. And Eddie Howe has got them given 110% all game, every single game. I mean, they did pick up some injuries. The centre back got injured, didn't he? So they've got to play around in defence. Trippier come off injured. Maxi Mill's not playing; he's injured. But you think it makes them weaker, but it doesn't, because whoever comes in for them is hungry to earn the position, like we want it for Everton. So yeah, they are that team there. You wouldn't think it would smash. No disrespect to them, because you've got to start thinking these are better than what you think the names are, ain't they? The way they're performing, the results are picking up.
Well, like I said, Bruno in the middle obviously is great. Isak is brilliant as well. Trippier does his job. It was against Spurs where Willock and Joe Linton stepped up as well.
Had a little freeze there. I'll just get the comments up while I'll put you back in. I was just reading the comments on this. Yes, you are right, Jamie. Shaw is injured, so they're going to have to play around with that. They have got a few defenders above that I've put there. They've got the Souls, and they have got players that they can fit in to. I mean, Paul, what do you think they'll do with the defence there? With the injuries they've got?
Yeah, they've got a decent
probably
squad.
will pull Lascelles in, won't they?
Say that again.
What do you think they'll do with Shaw injured? They've got to put someone else in now. Who do you think they'll bring in? Centre back?
I don't think it'll matter in the setup because they all seem very comfortable, to be honest. I mean, I think the tallest left back I've ever seen is a decent player, to be honest, in Byrne. I'd like to see Gray have a run at him, to be honest. But they're good, you know. When they've got the ball, they're very much as they are now. But you've got the likes of Trippier getting forward, getting the crosses in, overlapping Longstaff or Murphy, and Byrne will come up for set pieces. If you look there, there's not a player like Garner Gay who sits right in front of that 4. That's the only thing that I would think. Is there an opening there for someone in a number 10 position for us to maybe exploit that kind of space? Because Bruno, obviously he's everywhere in midfield, but he's predominantly a creator on the edge of the box, things like that. So when they've not got the ball, there's potentially an area there for us to exploit. Because they're very high in confidence, very happy going forward, everything else. They've got people on the bench. Obviously, Callum Wilson he's in the top up there. So that's someone they can bring on and everything. So they have got plenty of strengths. But when teams have gone at them and not sat back, then it has shown that they can actually be rattled, to be honest. So we've got to be really smart Dyche's got to be really smart with keeping us in the game and also applying enough pressure so we don't get swamped and overawed by their pressure.
They're a team that have got a bit of everything, ain't they? Normally we say hit them with the long balls and stuff, but they have got like Botman and Byrne. They're very good in the air, and whoever the Lascelles, if they bring him in. So this is a team that are ready for anything. And Dyche says that about Everton. He says, I want to get Everton where we're ready for every situation in the game. So whatever hits us, we can adapt. And that's what you do need to do. And that's what this Newcastle team, I feel, have. They can pass the ball. They can do the hard game like the Bournemouth game where you need big players and head it away. They've kind of got everything, haven't they? But what you said, I've noticed this. I would never say injure a player, but Gamirez has got an ankle injury and it's flared up. They've said they're going to play him, but it has flared up. So he's not going to want to go in for the tackles, is he, if he's got that ankle injury?
No. The thing is, if we're going to play what we presume we're going to play in what we've shown there, because that's what we did in the last game, and we end up with our 3 in the middle again, we can't sit back on the edge of our own area with that. We've got to be strong, assertive, and as soon as they're coming into our half, not just our, defending third. So as long as we don't sit too deep, then we can actually put some aggression on their defensive midfielders, including him.
I 100% agree. We've got to press them, I think, with it being at home as well. We've got to really press them. Right, so now we've looked at both teams. The Newcastle fans, when I did the fan clash yesterday pre-match, they seem to think that Callum Wilson's going to start, they were saying. He scored. And I did Eddie Howe say he's been doing really well in training. And it's a competition between them two, and it's not far away, is it? So they were saying Callum Wilson might start with
You surprised me.
With him only coming back as well and them competing for Champions League. Now this game for them is Champions League game. They need to win this to get Champions League. They ain't got many games left, so there's loads. I was hoping there was nothing at stake for this Newcastle team, but there is. They need to win this for Champions League. So it's relegation battle versus Champions League, this, isn't it?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, table-wise up that end, which we don't look at very often, to be honest. Newcastle are third at the moment, having played one game more than United, who are in fourth, and they're on the same points. Newcastle with a better goal difference. In fifth place is Villa, 5 points behind them. So there's almost a little buffer there. Teams below that might have played one game less than Villa, but they're on 1 or 2 points below. So when it comes to Newcastle having to win it to be Champions League, they have got a little buffer. And the thing is as well, I mean, we've seen that teams, after they've had a massive win, they go and lose the next game. Don't they? We've seen it.
I completely agree. I think sometimes you can think the game's going to win itself when you go and win 6 goals, what they won 6-1. You can go into the next game thinking you're better than what you are and you don't need to do as much. Everton have done that many times.
Yeah, well, I mean, the game after they beat West Ham 5-1, they went to Brentford and they were losing against Brentford. It was 2 quick second half goals away against Brentford. I mean, they scraped past Forest away. You know, it was where was it? Forest were actually winning that game as well. So there's plenty of times where they've faltered in the first half. They've gone behind, and then those teams have not held on. Now the thing is, defensively, obviously against Palace, I thought we were good. We didn't have anything going forward. That was the only problem. But like you said, if we managed to get the one, I think we were pretty confident then about holding on to that. And if that's going to be the case tomorrow, I think we could do it again. Because when we've got our tails up, when we've got that first goal, we can dig in, can't we? It's almost like siege mentality. We're quite good at that.
Well, they got I think this game's going to be counter-attack. I think we're going to sit back, let them come at us because they feel more comfortable attacking than we do. And I think literally we're going to sit back, absorb what you got, say, fair enough, we can handle it, and let's frigging go. Let's go at them. And I think we can. This is not an easy game, but this is the big game. No game's easy now, and we need to do it. We really do need to do it. And I am ready for this. I am scared. I am bricking it. I'm nervous. I've just looked at that result just a minute ago and felt sick. Yeah. But I've watched the Rockies today, and I'm ready. Honestly, I am Rocky 4. Not happy he did that to Apollo, but I'm ready, honestly. And we can do this. For if every fan in that stadium, 40,000 or whatever plus, if every fan lets out everything all game, that stadium is going to be rocking. And I do believe a lot of fans will be. They know now. 6 games, that's it. Yeah. We're going to do 6 more channels. And that's it. Everton stay up or go down. And I think stay up. But this is it. You've got to leave everything in Goodison Park and leave everything when you go away as well, because the fans will make a difference. And for the players as well. I mean, Sean Dyche has said that in the press interview today, Auntie. He's highlighted that. They kept asking him about the fans. And he goes, yeah, I like the meet and greet. I like the fans doing what they did last season. But it's down to the players. The fans make a difference, but you still need the players to go and do it on the pitch as well. He highlighted that, didn't he, in the press? Yeah. And he'll keep them motivated. He might, get them to watch Rocky as well. And the thing is, I know we've not played well recently, but if we can change and, the players can change, then we can all change, Dan. I believe it. We're going to turn into like prime frigging Barcelona this game. We're going to do it. This is going to be the turning point. I've said it all along. This is going to be the game. I've said we need 3 games to stay up. If we win this, we're going to do it. We might need to win 3, more than 3 to stay up the way the bloody other games are going just lately, because the teams are starting to pick up points. No one wants to go down. You can't just presume Forest are going to stay down there and just get look at all the money they've spent and stuff. That they can't go down either. Nobody can go down. They're all going to fight. So we've got to do something. We've been lucky with results, haven't we, Paul, at the minute, because they've gone our way.
Yeah. We've been lucky in the last couple of weeks, if you like. Teams had not exploited us not winning and to get past us, and then it's only in the last week really that it's sort of happened. But some of them have had their win, and if we'd had our win so far, if we'd beat Fulham or whatever, then we would still be above them, and we can win tomorrow and go above Forest, Leeds and Leicester.
Just look at that comment there. Sorry, Jamie, I was thinking hard to multitask here. Want Garner to sit in the back tomorrow and have Onana and Decore. Yeah, we will go on the lineups now. So we'll hit the lineups. We've had a little bit of a positive boost there. We're going to go hype now, because when you talk about Newcastle at the start and look at both teams, you're probably thinking, oh, these ain't hype to win, but we are massively pumped to win. And we're going to show you now, because what is your lineup then, Paul? People in the comments, I know everything Everton, he's come back from Derby, rushing back down the motorway to get back for the channel, and a few others are regulars. Put your lineups in the comments. What is your team? This is a bit of a wild one now, isn't it? Because I think, before you give it me, I think Onana, he said he's on grass. He never tells you whether he's available. Fair enough. Keep your cards close to your chest. But Onana, he says he's on the grass. Decore's back. He even said Coleman's on the grass as well. So they're in your options. This is going to be an interesting one. People, drop your teams in the comments.
Yeah. I'd like to see, so before I sort of go through this, I'd like to see us have enough pace going either side of DCL when we do get the ball and we break, but I also want us to be strong in that middle and be compact as well. So I'm very much going to go, I was talking before the Palace game, to be fair. So I'd go Pickford in goal, obviously.
Yeah.
I'd go Godfrey left back, really. I know he doesn't fancy Patterson, and I'm not sure why. He obviously brought in Holgate above Patterson last time. Seamus wasn't fit. If Seamus is fit, I'd have Seamus right back. If not, I'd have Patterson, and I would have Tarks, and it looks as though it'd be Keane again, middle diddle. I do think it would be better to have Mina against someone like Wilson. Even Cody has his moments, but if it's going to be Keane and Tarks, it'd be Keane and Tarks. And then with your 5 across the middle. So because what I was saying at the Palace game is that what we can do is that if we have someone who is attacking minded, because we don't want everyone defensively minded, we've got to cause them problems as well. Because if we don't cause them any problems, they're just going to come onto us, and eventually we'll falter, we'll concede. So Gray's forward minded. So if he plays left hand side, then, and he's got Godfrey behind him, I think Trippier, his role changes. Because Trippier just loves sort of getting forward, doesn't he? Doing an overlap and crossing in. But if Gray is actually putting pressure on Trippier and pushing him further back, side, and I'd have Patterson right back, and I'd have McNeil on the right hand side. Because what I said against Palace is that I didn't think we would get to the byline.
Who you got in the centre?
I would go. Well, if possible, I'd have Garnagay and then Decore and Onana. I'm not sure whether Onana would be back, to be honest with you. If that's the case, then I would have James Garner instead of Onana. But Decore comes straight back in for me, and Garner in the front of the back four.
If Onana is available, do you drop James Garner then? Because I know a lot of people would grill me for putting Onana in over James Garner, probably because they thought Onana was poor. They thought Onana was poor, and then they thought James Garner. Has James Garner done enough since he's come back in? I'm not saying he's poor. He's a grown player, but has he done enough, do you think, since he's come back in? I'm not sure on that one.
James Garner?
Yeah, he hasn't made that much of a difference, has he? Yeah.
No, I think he could get lost in this, to be honest. I really do. So I mean, I've not included Iwobi there, to be honest. So it all depends on who we've got. If everyone was fit, then your three. Well, my three would be Garner, Gay, Decore, and Onana. And I'd have Gray left-hand side and McNeil right-hand side. Iwobi's legs coming on after a while would be really good. I'd like to see him make an impact, to be honest. And I don't think he makes much of an impact, unfortunately.
It's a massive move you made there. You might have some Iwobi lovers after you there, leaving Iwobi out.
Maybe, but you know what though? You know what? If he comes on the hour and the second half or whatever, and comes up with the winner again like he did last year, which was momentous, then all's fine, isn't it?
I like to hear people's teams. I like them to be risky. I don't like them always the same all the time. And you've got to go with what you think and not do what you think people would think. Otherwise, it's not your team, is it? So it's an interesting one. You've explained as well motives behind on what you've gone for. Like you said, Gray to get Trippier on the back foot. So I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know whether I cut off before it came across before, but again, I don't see us getting to the byline and getting crosses in. I very much see us as being able to get free kicks and create chances by playing it back for people who then can cross it in. And if McNeil is crossing it in with his left foot towards that far post, or Gray's doing the same thing towards the far post on the other side, I think we're much better doing that and getting DCL across those crosses than, or like Decore or whoever, much better chance of being successful, because to then get past Trippier and past Burns to get a good cross in for then DCL or whoever to come onto it is far more difficult. And I think our chances...
Here's a question for you. Someone's come at you here. There you go, directed to you there.
Why McNeil on the right and Gray on the left? Oh, McNeil. I know. McNeil's been playing well wherever he's been playing, to be honest, but we don't get up the pitch high enough. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with changing people, wingers, changing sides at all. And you should. If you've got wingers who are not having any joy against the fullback, switch them over. I don't think clubs do it enough, to be honest. I don't see enough sides like us doing that. It's almost like we stick with it. Just swapping those wingers can make a massive difference, because it can put the fullbacks in two minds then. Because if you got McNeil has been told
you won him over.
McNeil's been told by Dyche. You could tell as soon as Dyche came in, he said, McNeil, right, get the ball, get it out your left foot, and then cross it in. And that's what he does every single time. But the thing is, if you're a fullback, and we both played that position, if you know that winger is going to get it out of his foot and then cross, then you're going to pressure him on that side. You're going to block those crosses. And I think most crosses that McNeil has put in, or certainly we put in against Palace, were blocked. So if you then cross him over, the fullback doesn't know which side you're going to go. It doesn't have to be a worldy cross with your weaker foot if you're just putting it into an area. So it's something that could possibly help. And also as well, the reason being, like I said before about Gray, if he's got Godfrey behind him, he's probably got a bit of confidence in Godfrey to stop the likes of Murphy, who would probably be on that side. from getting any chances from that left-back position. Whereas if it's Patterson or it's Coleman, McNeil's a hard grafter. And he'll probably protect that right back a little bit more than Gray would.
You make interesting points. You back yourself up well there. I like a little debate, and you make good points on the wingers. And you've thought about it. That's the thing I like about you, Paul. I know you've done your football coaching and stuff like that, and you'll always explain yourself. And you've said that you've thought who Newcastle have got on the right, and Murphy and all that, and you've put Godfrey behind him to be solid and have the speed, and you want McNeil to get forward and stuff, and you've got reasons behind everything. Great to get Trippier back, but like you say, it's true. You can swap the wingers because sometimes you've got one winger better than your other, and if that winger's coming up against someone good, and the other side there ain't a good defender, swap it round, move him over. Put him against Burn and see what happens.
You can do that. I mean, you can do that in lots of positions, to be honest. One other way of sort of doing it is that if we're going to play with a number 10 or whoever's in front of the three in midfield, if Calvert-Lewin's not getting enough joy standing and being last man alongside Botman or whoever it is, then those can change as well. To be fair, Calvert-Lewin can come a little bit deeper. And then you can have whoever, when we've got the ball, obviously, not when we've not got the ball, but when we have got the ball, Calvert-Lewin can come deeper into that 10 position, win those flick-ons, hold the ball up a little bit better. And then the likes of whoever it is, say Wolby second half or whatever, gets beyond Calvert-Lewin and creates more opportunities for himself. A little bit like, I mean, last year's goal, thinking about it, it was actually Coleman won the ball in the middle of the pitch, gave it to Iwobi. Iwobi manages to take someone on, plays it into Calvert-Lewin, who's on the edge of the area. Calvert-Lewin then plays it for Iwobi again. So not being the last man all the time can actually have some decent effects.
That goal stays in my head. It was a cut across one. It's gone from kind of the right, moved over to the left, and then carried his run on, and Calvert. It's untracked when you do that as well. It was a cracking run if you move from one side to the other because they're not tracking you then. Instead of just run down the wing and cross it in. Yeah. And
been a lot of talk about that this week on Twitter and stuff. And when someone had reposted it, I said that's certainly one of the key moments from last season, probably in the last few seasons, to be fair. And I think it can be. I mean, obviously, that was a nuts game, wasn't it? For all the weird reasons, obviously, with bolt cutters and all
oil man.
But
I think every Evertonian's tried to track him down to get the lucky oil man for this game and the bolt cutters guy ready with it, because even Eddie Howe said today that made a massive difference, and Newcastle couldn't cope after he did that. So
yeah, it was bizarre. It was absolutely
get the oil man back.
We were down to 10 men, weren't we? We were down to 10 men as well.
10 men, stop the game. We all didn't know what the heck was happening. I didn't know what was happening because you don't know what he's done, do you? Like frigging necktie around the goalpost, and then
that was crackers. You know what though? It was so Everton, where no one knows what to do, and then some guy sort of wanders over with his bolt cutter.
Rusty bolt cutters about 100 years old trying to frigging get on a cable tie that thing. It went all on cups and everything that did. It'll be interesting to see what story is going to happen this game. Everton being Everton, something's going to happen. And Newcastle is always a game as well that's very interesting. Like, I can remember us playing them a bit back and they scored 2 goals in extra time when we thought was going to win. They are very entertaining games, sometimes in bad ways, sometimes in good ways. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to drop my lineup now, and Paul's explained as well. And then I'm going to read your lineups in the comments. If you haven't put your lineup in the comments, and I'll read it out and explain it. My lineup, here we go.
Go on.
Pickford in goals. It's just a guarantee, isn't it? I'm going to stick with Mikalenko left back. I'm going to go risky.
Okay.
I'm going to go Tarkowski. I'm going to go Keane. A lot of people will grill me for Keane, but I don't think he's going to play Mina now. I've come to accept it. I don't think Mina's going to be an option there. And I don't think Cody's can get ahead of his favourite Michael Keane. It's something I've just accepted as an Everton fan now. Yeah. Got to get behind it. Our frigging club's at stake. So I'm going to go Tarkowski Keane. I don't think he'll change it. I'd be very shocked if he did, but I wouldn't complain. On the right-hand side, I'm going to put Godfrey there. I thought Godfrey come on last game when Holgate come off, and he's obviously a big option there. And I think Godfrey is solid. He hasn't been up to scratch, but maybe the break is what he needed. When he come on, he looked a bit better. He was on it a bit more, and I want Godfrey tackle, especially if Gordon is playing frigging that side or something like that. I'll ask you a question on Gordon in a minute. So that's my defence. So same defence. I'm going to stick with Mikolenko now. It's risky. He could get destroyed, but fact is, no one's that good left back, are they? Like, the only other option left back is Godfrey, like you said, but I haven't got no good option right back this time if Coleman's not playing. Now, if Coleman is playing, by the way, my option is Coleman all day long. I think in this game, DNA, Everton, Coleman has got to be in these 6 games. Well, as many of them as possible to keep us up because he is Everton. And if Coleman's playing, by the way, then I'm going to put Godfrey left back. I will put Godfrey left back then. I'll go Godfrey, Coleman right back. I don't think Dyche likes Patterson. I know it's a big thing to say. But I think if he did, he would have given him a chance, wouldn't he? And he ain't had that much of a chance, has he? I think he thinks he's...
thought so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he thinks because he's small and he's young and he's not a big lad, I think he thinks he's going to get knocked off the ball and stuff and don't trust him. And he's going to need a pre-season to get into Dyche's team.
I mean, the thing about the right-back position as well is that sort of looking at the Newcastle side, it looks as though it sets up like a 4-3-3, but in that, apart from Isak and Murphy sort of right-hand side, your other ones are Longstaff, Bruno, Willock and Joe Linton. There's no natural left forward for them. There's no, like, say Maximan, for example, it seems like a natural left forward, doesn't he? Or left winger. So if he was fit and he was playing, then he would be up against the likes of Coleman or Patterson and everything else. However, in recent games, I don't know whether it'll set up different against us, but in recent games, there hasn't been a natural left forward. So their creations have come from the middle of the pitch or on the right-hand side.
They're not scared of going. The thing with them, they play the 4-3-3 or whatever it is, or 4-2-3-1, and they're not scared of going through the middle because they can pass the ball, can't they? They've got those Gamirez who has got those cut-in passes. And then the right back and left back do get forward, but that doesn't scare you as much as a winger coming at you than a right back, left back getting forward, does it?
No,
I think you've got more of a threat with, like you said, natural wingers coming at you. That's my defence then. I kind of, so if Coleman's there, I'd have Thingy. Midfield, I'm going to have Iwobi right wing. Onana, he's back. He is back. He is back. No, not to what you said that he might not be. I want him to be back. Like, you know how much I love Onana for that reason. I know you want him to be back as well.
Yeah, definitely.
He's straight in for me if he's back. Decore is in there. He leads the line on the press. And Garner Gay. You've got to go, and I've got McNeil on the left. You've got to go that team that played Arsenal first game for me. We need that Arsenal game that we had first game, and I think you've got to go for the 3 in midfield that worked. And yes, James Garnett's leaving him out, but fact is, if Decore, Garner Gay, and Onana work, you've got to go back with that. We ain't got games to mess around now. We just need to put our best team out and do the business because we don't get these games back. And I want to see it. I think Onana will be a bit hungry. He's been shocking, but I tell you something. I think he's got that personality where he wants to come back and prove himself. Now he's had the break. Dan's got. I read that. Now he's got the break. Yes, I have. Just saying, Onana mentioned that he's back. Oh, you love it, don't you? I hope he is back now. You never know what's going to happen with Everton. And up front, I've got Calvert-Lewin. I just think. I like Decore and Onana, as we spoke about on the last program. I like that Decore and Onana push up. They're more both box to box. I know Onana hasn't been doing it well and Decore's been doing it miles better. But what about if Decore does what he's been doing and Onana finally does it as well and plays the box to box and he's on it attacking as well? We're going to be unpredictable down that middle. And we're going to be dangerous because we have got Ghana Gate, who was a PSG frigging champion, smashed it, been around, played everything. Ghana Gate, if he knows, doesn't he? Like, he's a big player, hasn't he? He's been and done it all. He's played with frigging all the big boys. He's a big player. And I just think now, when I look at playing against a good team like Newcastle, these names need to be what they are now. They need to step up. Ghana Gate, we need the old you that played for Everton. We need you more than ever to turn up and be that. Do you know when you need a player that's just going to do it and step up? I want Ghana Gate to do that and just do those turns. Mark Gamirez out the game. These players need to do what you don't even know they can do. And I want Onana to come on and smash it and be what everyone said they want him to be, but he hasn't. Decore, I think he just needs to keep up what he's been doing. The scary thing is with Decore is it's the first time we've seen him this good. He's been out. Will he come back and not be as good? But Dyche has said he's kept him up to speed, so hopefully we're going to get the Decore that we had. McNeil, I think he ain't. McNeil and Iwobi can do it on the wings, and Calvert-Lewin I've got up top. Calvert-Lewin looked good last game. He needed it, like you said, but I think he's going to be a force. He's getting some good defenders here, but he is going to be a force. And that's my team. And then you've still got like Gray to come on with his speed. You've got the option of Sims coming on when Calvert-Lewin gets tired. And then you've got James Garner to come on in the centre if someone picks up a yellow card. We're back to full strength now, ain't we, really? We are back to a full strength team. And I feel more confident.
Yeah, well, the injury lists earlier on today, anyway, said Townsend, Onana, Coleman, and one other, and I can't remember who it was. Three had unknown return dates, and Coleman said April. I think it was Coleman said April. So we don't know. Dyche is coy anyway, isn't he?
He ain't going to tell us.
He doesn't give anything away. So I guess we'll see. Really, it'd be great if we were full strength. Because I tell you what, Onana and Decore in the middle against the likes of Willock and Bruno. You know, Decore and Onana are really strong lads, and we want a bit of beef against the likes of Joe Linton as well, because that guy's a unit. You know.
Yeah, he is. That I got grilled because when I went on that Clash Newcastle channel, they love him. They love him like we did with Charleston. Yeah. They love Joe Linton. And I don't think he's as incredible as they make out. But fair enough, they fell in love with him. They really have. I don't know whether it's because he plays for that badge, but they love that Joe Linton. They can't praise him. You know?
He didn't used to, though.
No, I know they didn't.
He's liked it since he went in midfield, since he got swapped into midfield, and then suddenly he was a world beater. Do you know what I mean? But they weren't that keen on him when he was up front scoring.
I said that, as a centre forward,
games or something.
Yeah.
So that's why they're just they're buoyant, aren't they? As you would be if you had all of these things falling for you and you were playing well and you were in these positions. They're just buoyant. And
when everything's going your way.
Pride comes before a fall, doesn't it?
Yeah, they all look like kings when everything's going your way, don't they? That's the thing. I'm sure we'd be raving about our players if we was in that position. Right, so Jamie, not Warrington, Jamie, Pickford, Coleman, Tarky, Keane, Godfrey, Garner, Onana, Decore, McNeil, Gray, and DCL. So his difference is Iwobi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, you two dropped Iwobi. Iwobi's been dropped twice. You're not the only one.
Yeah. Not that Iwobi's done anything wrong.
No Iwobi for me.
He has a good work rate, but he doesn't create an awful lot, And I tell you what, if he comes on and runs the last half hour as fast as he runs every other time, and we've managed to get ourselves in the lead, then he's going to be invaluable.
Yeah, I completely. Jamie, what's he put there? Could make an impact off the bench. He's been dropped. Some people really do like Iwobi. I like Iwobi, and I played him right wing just because, mainly because he played well against Newcastle last time. But it is close. No one's like, for me, saying I'm going to play every week and I'm superstar, because they haven't played like that. But I do believe they can turn it around this game. I'm behind this, and I really do believe we're going to win this. Right, so we'll move on now to, because I've said we're going to win this.
Are you going to go first this time, or is it me again?
I'm thinking now. Caught me off guard there. I normally listen to what you're going to say and think what mine is. Right, people in the comments, drop your score predictions in the comments. I know Everything Everton's driving. By the way, Everything Everton, don't even try and put your lineup in while you're driving. I know you'll be gagging to put your lineup in, and I know it's got Stanley Mills in. I mean, I was doing that edit earlier on with the players, and I had to put Stanley Mills in the options just because I knew Everything Everton would have him in his team. But so I put Stanley Mills in the options because I knew he likes him. But yeah, I don't put your lineup Everything Everton. Just give it me, and I'll put it up on my Twitter or something like that. But score predictions, I'm gonna go first. Put your score predictions in the comments. I said 2-1 to the Newcastle fans. I said we'll win 2-1. Got to stick with that, Auntie, if I said it. I keep saying 2-1 every game. But I said two scores. I said 2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah.
And I never normally say two scores. But the reason I do is because the 1-0, I say 2-1 because I think they've got some good players and it'll be hard for us to keep a clean sheet. But I'd love for us to keep it 0-0 and nick a goal at the end, like we did it with Iwobi in that big game. I'd love us to just keep it tight. I mean, we drew 0-0 last game, so 2 clean sheets and nick a goal. I mean, I seen that comment earlier on. They're scared after that result. We'll talk about the result in a minute. We're just putting the score predictions and scorers on now, but we'll talk about the result. And scorers, I've done 2 scores, so I've freaking left myself buggered there, haven't I? Scorers on the 1-0, the goal scorer will be Onana. And he's going to freaking jump out the stadium or something like that when he scores. Or freaking do a backflip. He'd probably do a front flip. I wonder if he can do a front flip at like 6'8". I don't know. But Onana 1-0, that would be amazing. Or Coleman 1-0. Imagine that. Bloody hell, if he come back and did that. 2-1, it would be Calvert-Lewin 2. I've changed it on that one. Calvert-Lewin 2 goals. And I'll go for that. Isaac for them on the 2-1. That's my prediction. I shouldn't have gone for 2, but I have because I can see the game going so many bloody ways. This game, I really can.
It could go anyway. It could be an absolute nuts game. It could be a 0-0. Honestly, we're so unpredictable because we don't know what we're going to do.
No, you're right, and that's why I'm struggling now because we've been these last couple of games. I'd normally say Everton, we can win 1-0. That's what we kept going for, didn't we? When Dyche was doing well, we said, "Oh, we'll keep it tight, 1-0, 2-0, or 1-0." But now we've lost, got battered one game. One game's been 0-0. It's very unpredictable what it's going to be. So, what's your score going to be? Because I know you're always very honest, and you actually go for the £1 million win free bet on the score. So what's your score prediction?
I actually, like you say, anything could happen. And we are due a win. Could
even be 4-3. This game's going to be.
Statistically, we're due a win. Do you know what I mean? And it's like us to get beat by Fulham, you know, and draw. I mean, draw up against Palace wasn't a bad result. If Leicester had lost, we would have been fine with that draw because it would have kept us out of the bottom 3. But a game like this is a game that we're likely to win, and it's not because, you know, we're arrogant or anything else. We just know what Everton are like. So we know that actually we balls it up against the teams that we should beat. And the teams that we shouldn't beat, we end up getting a result. So I think we're going to win 2-0. I think it's going to be
very positive.
I think it's going to be a penalty. I think we're going to get the opportunity to get on the referee's, not like get on his case, but because of what we're going to do to the ground, the referee just naturally, human instinct will want to sort of give anything he can. I think we really will. I think we'll get a penalty first. I think we'll see that out for a lot of the game. And then I think we'll score at the end and make it 2-0.
I'd love that. That sounds like not much stress either. And a lot of people are stressed now because the table's changing and stuff like that. But if we win, it helps massively, absolutely massively. So with your 2-0 will put us in a good position. I mean, I've been going around doing freaking videos while I'm walking. I've been thinking about Everton 24/7. I really have, like, hardcore, because it's just there's not many games left now, and I just feel, you already said to me before I come on, I've been putting loads of stuff out there. I just feel like everybody, I can't tell anyone what to do. Every Evertonian is entitled to do what they want to do, but I know they love Everton, and I know deep down they will want to just get behind them. And I just think everybody in those seats just get behind them. And if you're loud enough, those players won't have a choice but to turn up. Even if they're not playing well, I think just shout your head off. Even if we're like started crap, don't let that noise go away. Let them know that we need to stay up around the stadium the whole game, no matter what, because us as fans, we've got to do everything now. And them as players, they're the biggest part. They've got to freaking step it up. And I do trust, Paul, that Sean Dyche, he always plays it down, and I didn't mind it at first, but now I want him to show how much this means, because I do trust that he'll have them ready. This is massive. This is we're shitting ourselves, ain't we? We are a positive channel. We boost people up. We really do, but we're not deluded. This is massive. You can't freaking keep letting games go. I feel we've let 2 games go now. You can't. Obviously, the draw wasn't bad, the last one, but the other 2 before that, you can't let games go now, because you just don't get them back. Everything you do matters. If they're running down the wing and you let them get that cross and they could score, you've got a big job to come back if that gets them 1-0. So you get down that wing and you slide tackle and crunch him, and do not let him get that crossing. Because if he gets that crossing, you've got so much stress in that box. We stop everything. We get stuck in. We crunch them. Honestly, the passion has got to be there, because us as fans, honestly, that's like I said, watching the Rockets, us as fans, we don't want them to go, and we would do everything. We would give our frigging fingers, our right arm, to keep Everton up. So I want those players to play like that on the pitch, to give everything that they can to keep them up. If they do everything and they leave everything on the pitch and they can't even walk after that game, I think we'll win the game. I think that's enough. It's when they don't, but they still think they play good enough. I just want these to give everything. And the atmosphere, people say, oh, the fans, it's the players as well. Yes, it is. But I tell you something, if the players connect with the fans, it's a big thing, isn't it, Paul? And I think that can just win a game itself under the lights, like you've been saying. We've got to pull together. And it is scary, but don't get scared. Look at the results. Yes, but Paul said it. He said on the last channel, don't get scared when you look at the table, because it's not going to stay like we've been lucky. Like you said, didn't you? It's going to change. Yeah. But don't get scared. It's just a kick in the face saying you've been lucky so far, but now go and do it. Yeah. Go and frigging pick those 3 points up. It's just a kick in the face to these players. We've rode a luck, but I tell you something. Don't start stressing in this position, because we're lucky we've been in it. We're lucky we're sitting where we are now, because a lot of results have gone for us at the bottom. They're picking up now. 6 games, we've got to frigging go out this Newcastle game and win. And that's just the stuff off my chest on it, because I really do feel we've got to pump it up, Paul, because I'm getting people messaging me DMs saying, oh, when you're doing your channel, I'm stressed. We're in it together. I know we've got to let emotions out, because people were feeling the same, and they think, oh, thank God someone's feeling the same. We all are stressed. But as it said in Rocky, don't be scared. The only way you're going to win is if you go and let everything out, and those players go and fight for us. And you don't want to think, what if, do you? I don't want those players to think, oh, I wish we would have tried to keep Everton up. I want them to leave everything on the pitch and say, we did our best, I'm sorry. Or we did our best and we've kept you up. Yes, we've done it. That's what it's going to take, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I mean, the thing is as well, if you just put yourself in the place of any of those players, all right? And I don't mean it being their job or anything else. Imagine that's you playing. Imagine that's you running down the wing with the ball and you've lost it. You lost the ball. And their players now going towards our goal. What are you going to do after that's happened? Now, you can either be down on yourself as the player and just let them, someone else will deal with that. or you get a shout from the crowd, and the crowd actually say, "Go on, get back there, go on, work hard." You know, this is what it means to us. This is what it should mean to you. And you're not on their back, you're not shouting them, but you're encouraging them. That player's going to do it for you. They're going to work hard for you. Goodison was so close to the pitch. You're literally giving them a pat on the back. You're grabbing them by the shirt and saying, "Go on, get back over there and do your best." On every corner, it should be like, "Come on," you know, not like do your job and all this sort of stuff. It should be literally lift up anyone who's taking.
Oh, I didn't want to freeze there because the passion was good. I liked your words there. You was getting me ready. I love it when you said the players are close to the freaking the fans are close to the players. Lift them up, get them back up, get them going. I didn't want you to go off because I like your words that you were saying. Yeah, you're right. It's just it's so close to the pitch. You've got to lift them, and the thing is as well, players can be good individually, but you're twice a team if your player's an 11. And we did at one point against Arsenal. If one player makes a mistake, the player next to him wants to save his bloody ass. Yes, lift that player up and say, "Don't make that mistake again, but I've got your back." You've got to be in it as 11. You've got to be like covering each other, ready for the challenge. Don't be frigging scared. These players, they can do it, honestly. And I think at home, they've got the fans behind them. And what you said is good. It's got me ready. I'm pumped. I want the game to be tonight. I really do. I'm freaking ready for this now.
Yeah. The thing is...
as long as they do, Paul, what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
As long as they do what we're saying now, if they show our passion, we're all right.
But if they don't, say they don't, you know, it's going to be 90 odd minutes of intensity because the fans' feelings will transfer to the pitch. Now, if we're really nervous and everything else as fans, then that will transfer to the pitch. However, if we do what I know we can do, and we have done before, which is encourage them and build them up and everything else, then that will drag them through. But there will be lulls in this game. There will be sections of this game where we don't see the ball. You know, these graphics are going to come up, whereas, you know, last 10 minutes, it's 90% possession Newcastle. That's okay. That's all right for that to be the case. And if it's those moments as well, I'm not saying we've got to be 90 minutes shouting our heads off all the time and everything else. But if you notice, if you're lucky enough to be there tomorrow night and you notice a lull in it, sing one of the players' names. Do you know what I mean? Pick the player that needs the biggest lift. You know, if Ghana Gay's giving the ball about 3 times away, sing him a bloody song. You know, if Gray's not getting past Trippier or whoever else, give him a song, bloody sing his name and drag those players along. Because that's what we can do. We've seen we can do it before. You're
right. If Ghana Gay starts on the off, just an example, we get both said him, but doesn't mean he's gonna smash it. But if he starts and he loses the ball, he needs you because he started bad and he wants you to boost him back up. We're the boosters. We literally, like you say, instead of going, "Oh, Ghana Gay," and going edgy and scared, don't be scared in this relegation battle. Because if you're scared, you'll go down. People that are scared get beat. They do. The winners are never scared. The champions are the ones that have no fear. So if we're going to stay up, we can't show fear as fans in the crowd. Even if we are scared, put positivity onto that pitch, into those players, because it's only those players feeling positive that's going to keep them up. We have to believe in them, even if we don't. And look, we've got to get behind them. And you're right in what you say. I love what you're saying because you are right in what you're saying. You've just got to be behind every player. The player boosts are massive. I remember last season, Richarlison was a big player, freaking booster. He shouted his name. He loved it. He ran everywhere. Do you know where someone just goes and runs and everywhere? And we've got Doucouré will do that. Shout out Doucouré's name. I mean, Richarlison don't play for us. I'll just give an example. But Doucouré, shout his name. He'll run everywhere. Onana's one like that. He goes to the crowd. He loves it.
A massive one like that. Yeah. He loves that. He absolutely bloody loves it.
Start shouting bloody Onana's name. He'll be shouting. Right, I'm going to drop a few scores here. I'm getting excited now. I'm sorry, people, that I did go off the subject. But we've got to. I'm ready. Play me and Paul. We'll beat Newcastle 6-1. Here we go. Jamie has gone 2-1 Everton, DCL, Onana, and Murphy. I like that one, to be fair. He's got Onana involved as well. I think he's got the Onana love. Everything Everton. Got to be fired up Blues. 2-0 DCL. I mean, see, he normally goes 3-2s and stuff like that. Even he's gone serious now, hasn't he?
Clean sheet. Clean sheet would be massive. I think I'm sure we can get a clean sheet tomorrow. And even if we don't, even if we, you know, in the highly unlikely scenario that we concede tomorrow, it needs people to boost them up again, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you concede a goal, it's frustrating. But the fact is, we still need to stay up. So you've got to get behind them. It's not what you want. It hurts, but it's made the job bigger. But there's no point in moaning about it for 20 minutes. Just get on it straight away and let's try and come back to get the draw or the win if you concede a goal. Because sometimes when it goes that way, you bloody take the draw, don't you?
Yeah, but the thing is, I've seen over the years, I've seen us come back from ridiculous situations. You know, having been on, down 2 or 3 times in a game. You know, 4 times in a game. In fact, the 4-4. I remember against Liverpool, we kept going behind. You know, FA Cup 4-4 Liverpool. You know, when the Wimbledon game, staying up last day of the season, 2-0 down, came back to it, 1-3-2. The Palace game last season. You know, so even if it goes pear-shaped in the first half, drag them along. You know, get them across the line. We can do it.
Just seen that we've gone the whole screen. We've gone the whole stream. I didn't put the banner across the bottom. So there you go.
And no one said anything, Dan. No one said anything.
Oh, they must not like it, not even notice. All that effort I do, they don't even notice. Yeah, there's the banner. So you can have a good little read before we end this. We put some pump into this, though. And Everton Till I Die sent me the banner that I put on at the start. I thought that was amazing, to be fair. It's a nice banner, that was. Very positive. Everyone's spreading so much positive stuff.
They are, aren't they? I've noticed a lot of accounts on Twitter and lots of videos this week, and some brilliant ones. Just, you know, if you shouldn't need a bit of a pick me up tomorrow to get you ready for the game, but if you do want one, just go on any of the accounts of any of the people on here and just watch any of the videos that they've done. Some brilliant ones. And it just shows you how much everyone cares about it.
No one. This is one thing I will say. Some ain't as good quality as others, but it's not a competition on whose is good quality. It's not someone like you get some Everton Scrooge fans that I swear they sit in the chair and moan on Twitter all day. Can't be doing with them, by the way. But you get some that just jump on it and say, "Oh, that's a crap edit." So what? No, you haven't said you're the best person at doing edits in the world. Every edit is just someone trying to pick Evertonians up. And every edit I like, even if it's not good quality, everything I like, any sort of positivity, I love. And loads have spread it. I've seen Bench from the Bullens, he's put stuff out 24/7. No one's trying to show off and do it. They're just literally doing everything they can to keep Everton up. And everything Everton who's driving back from Derby, still breaking all the speed limits with the cameras, because we've got him all hyped now, talking frigging hardcore towards the end. Yeah,
I was going to say, do you want to mention the elephant on the pitch for tomorrow?
What's
that? The young boy returneth.
I don't know on that one.
Gordon.
Oh yeah, I was going to come back to him one up, but I nearly forgot. I nearly let him get away with it. Here's a question for you in the comments, right, people? Been on an hour and 5. It's really late, but doesn't matter. It's still a few on. Who is going to be the first person? Because Gordon might start, he might not. That's all they asked Eddie Howe about in the interview. Question, Gordon. And it does sound like Eddie Howe might play him. He didn't sound like he's bothered about playing him. So who's going to be the first person in the comments to crunch Gordon? That's the question. Who is going to be the first person to crunch Gordon?
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, that would be a good one. You get 100-1 on that. Sean Dyche, headbutt. I'd love it. Yeah, I'd love that. If Sean Dyche got a red card because Gordon started on him, that'd be amazing. You put that in my head now.
Yeah.
Or the oil guy comes back and they unclip him, and then he goes and headbutts Gordon on his way off. That'd be a good one as well. Oh, Tarky all day. I think Godfrey. I think Tarky, though, I think is a good one because Tarkowski sided up for Gordon so many times and protected him, and Gordon gave it the mouth. Do you know where someone's really hard and you give it the mouth because you know you've got a big guy behind you? That's what Gordon used to do with Tarkowski. And Tarkowski saved his arse a lot of times. And if Gordon gives it the big I am, I think Tarkowski would say, right, mate, you're getting it. And I think he'd give him a crunch. Or Gordon. Or Onana, he's a good tackler. I do think Gordon could get a red if he plays. And I know they'll talk to him and they'll say, don't get a red, this, that, and the other. But I think with our fans, if Gordon plays, our fans are going to destroy him, ain't they? They are going to destroy him.
If Eddie Howe, if Eddie Howe has any reservations about Gordon's temperament on the day, he won't play him. He won't play him. I mean, there's two ways of thinking from their point of view. Is that if you play him from the start, then he's just one of 11. Do you know what I mean? There's no big build up, really. Obviously, it'll be, there'll be the lineup and the things, and they'll all shake hands. It's all nonsense anyway. But he'll then just be part of a group of Newcastle players then on the pitch. If he has him on the bench, he's going to get a lot of stick sitting on the bench, isn't he? From everyone around, mainly the family enclosure. But also as well, if he then comes on, it's then a big thing, and that intensifies it. I personally don't give a flying flip about Gordon. He left because he left, and if he did, it's fine. And am I his biggest fan? Not at all. Did I think he's overrated? Yeah, absolutely. Do I thank Newcastle for the 45 million? Of course. But is it going to be an issue tomorrow? No, because if we focus any energy on him, then that's energy that we're not giving to the team. So I would ignore him completely.
That's what you. I don't know. I know you didn't watch the Eddie Howe interview, but it's interesting. It shows you've got good football brain because Eddie Howe said he said, I do not think about Gordon. My thought is on how to get Newcastle to beat Everton. And that's what we've got to think as well. Our thoughts ain't got to be on Gordon. Our fans will grill him all game, no matter what. But our team, we've got to kind of just focus on the result, not Gordon, because you don't want to sidetrack yourself. Otherwise, it can be a weapon for them. And that's when it does become a positive, then playing Gordon, because you're that focused on him. Other players are freaking freeing up, getting benefited because you're just trying to take him out.
And it'd be just, it would be a stupid thing for someone to go and, I'll make a point. I'll be, the big hero kicking Gordon into the stands, but you'll get booked. The referee he'll see it coming, and the first challenge, even if it's a clean one but strong one, you're going to get booked, and then you're on that then for the rest of the game. And it'd be stupid enough for Godfrey to go right through Gordon. Right, get a yellow card and then get another yellow card in the second half. It's just,
you're right.
It's not worth it. It's just,
you've got to be switched on. There's too much at stake to just let Gordon win on this. And the thing is, there'd be nothing more frustrating than one of our players getting sent off and it being down to Gordon. That'd make us feel stupid. Yeah, it would make us feel stupid. So I think we've got to get. There's not the best way that you can get Anthony Gordon, by the way, is not by crunching him, is by beating Newcastle and singing Gordon songs all the way when we beat him, saying, you've gone there and we can still beat you. It wasn't you that kept us up, like you say. That's what you do. That's the best way you hurt him. That's twice as frigging better than a tackle and stuff like that. So you're right. You're sensible in what you say. And I think Dyche is going to be like that as well. We've got to be sensible in the way we do things because... he's gone. Who gives a crap about him? It's not that important.
Not there anymore, is he?
No, we don't really miss him majorly either. We've got players in those positions, so we won't let him win on that one. There's a few people on now. Late, it's weird how more are coming on later. People like to stay up all night, especially with Everton stress. If you can hit the like button and the subscribe button, we've just been going about 2-3 months now and want this Everton channel to go. So we want more Everton fans on the channel. We've got 6 games now, so this is going to be an amazing channel to get on in a good way, hopefully, because we're going to stay up. I do believe we're going to stay up. So hit the like and subscribe button. Share it as much as you can. I'm going to get some new stuff soon, so it's going to have backgrounds on it. It's going to have stuff with me Like me and Paul are going to have things behind us, and the channel's growing. It's doing really well. And I am putting it about because I've had some people say that it's got good potential. So I will push the channel. So everyone, if you can like it and subscribe, I do get you involved in the comments. I like to think that makes it a good listen for you, that you can put your stuff on as well. And yes, that's it. So we said a positive stuff. I like what you said as well. Do you feel up for it now? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm nervous. God, why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'd rather be playing than watching as a fan. You're that nervous, you froze then. I'll let you back in 2 seconds. I'd rather be playing than watching. We get the bloody hardest part. We do.
Yeah.
It's back in now.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. But we can do everything that we can do, you know? And I tell you what, I'd say enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's nerve-wracking, but
thank you, Jamie. So you've got to rate us though, because Paul, like you said, he is nervous, and I am, but we're still being massively positive, and that's what you've got to do as well. I will let Paul come back. He's had a little freezy thing here. We will sort the freeze out, by the way, going forward. We're just trying to nail it, and we can't figure out what it is. We don't know whether it's the Wi-Fi or the laptop, or we don't know what it is, but we will hit that freeze thing. And when we do, the sky's the limit. Millions subscribers after we get that right. We're trying to get it right. We can't. We need a professional guy that subscribes that's going to frigging tell us what the answer is on that one. But yeah, we are ready. We're going to stay up. We've got to do it. I'm scared as well. I really am, because I care about Everton so much, and I can't take the thought of us going down. And I've had some people that say, "Oh, we're going down." I can't take it. I really can't take it. I can't imagine what it would feel like. And if I try and put myself in that place, what it would feel like if we went down, I can't stand it. And I'm not even going to think about it. I go straight back to stay up, because I don't want that to happen. And we really do. We all love Everton.
And going,
we can do it. I
was going to say, going back in time to when we've been in similar situations, this isn't the worst situation we've been in. You know, I think there was about 6 games left when last season, and I think we had 2 games in hand, didn't we, or something like that, and we were 4 points behind, and we actually got the results that we needed. The year of the Wimbledon game, when we beat them 3-2, stay up on the last day of the season, we'd actually won 1 in 13 going into that Wimbledon game. We'd won 1 match out of 13 matches going into the last day. So, and we still won, and we still stayed up. So, yes, it's bad. However, we're still in this fight. We're still in
Everton, like you said, if we did it then, and you wouldn't have thought we did it. We wouldn't have thought we would have done it. Everton have got that Everton in them, and they always have. So you've got to stay behind them, just because Everton are Everton, and you don't know what's going to happen. That Crystal Palace game, absolutely crazy. 45 minutes. You can do that in 45 minutes, 2-0 down. If you can come back from 2-0 down in 45 minutes to go 3-2 and stay up, then why can't we go and win 3 games in 6 games? I'm not even joking. We've got Onana back now. We've got Decore back. Football's crazy. We can do it. If Nottingham Forest is trying now, they've gone and freaking beat Brighton, then why can't we go and do the same? Don't get scared. We've got to fight and do it. And we are going to do it. We are going to do it. And pre-match, we'll be on it. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be celebrating. We've got to be.
Post-match.
Post-match, sorry, pre-match.
That's how nervous you are, Dan. That's how nervous you are.
I know, because I'm just thinking now this stream's ending, and I've been thinking about the stream all the way through, and now the stream's ending, I'm thinking, shit, when I wake up tomorrow, Everton game day. And I know that after tomorrow, there's 5. And it sounds so stupid and simple, but it's literally 5, and then there's 4. You've got nothing after that. It just goes down. That's why I say it goes down so quick, and we need 3 wins. And that's why you can't not get behind this game, because we normally say, oh, you've got more games. You haven't. Honestly, after this game, it goes 5-3, and we need 3 wins out of it. And it gets harder and harder if you don't get your wins. So we need to bloody win this. Like, it's not a be and end all, but it bloody makes a difference if we do win this on our job and staying up, doesn't it? So, yeah, I'm scared. I'm ready. I'm going to put loads of videos out there tomorrow, and everyone else do the same. Just spread it, because that positivity, that little bit of positive that you spread passes on, and the positivity is what is going to keep us up. Honestly, it will spread, and that's what's going to keep us up, because if you believe it, it can happen. If you don't, it might not. So we've all got to believe it and spread it. And then at least we've done our part as fans, as Paul said earlier on. We've just got to play our part. And often if we play our part well, like we do in that stadium's rocking, the players will play their part. Right, everybody, thanks for coming on. I'll put the little banner on now that the guy made for me. Yes, I heard you, Jamie. He said didn't want to shout out, but after he gave it to me, you said you like it. I think you liked that. Everyone liked it. So I just gave him a little shout out on his Twitter name. Whether he liked it or not, I had to give him a shout out. But yeah, I'll give him the banner there. It's a good banner. Gets you motivated for tomorrow. And get behind them tomorrow, everyone. Have a good night. Get some sleep in. They'll bloody need us fully fit. And we'll do it then, banner.